Hello, this is Craig Mertens, Director of Product Education for Inktavo, the parent company of InkSoft, Graphics Flow, and Printavo. Welcome to InkSoft Academy. Today's topic is working with products with InkSoft. Joel Taylor and I, say hi, Joel.
Hello.
Work together in tandem, and Joel is going to do the presentation today. And what you see on your screen is a full screen preview of Joel's computer, not my computer. And so we are going to get started, and the basic topics we're going to cover today is everything to do with product. So Joel, with that said, I'm going to kick it over to you.
So products in InkSoft are very robust. You can do a lot of different things with them. So there's a couple points of confusion that we want to nail in today and just make sure we get an understanding of. The first thing that we're going to go over is how to add products to your account. So that's going to be from your dashboard up here. So up here at the top, this is your main dashboard. Products, add new product. So we have all the different suppliers here, not all of them, but a bunch. Typically, let's just say Sanmar is your supplier. So we'll search Sanmar. You can search by category, manufacturer. Let's just say we want some bill canvas. So we'll apply that search here. So this red message here means we've already got this particular SKU in the account. Let's go ahead and bring in the Youth and the USA 3001. So you can grab multiple products here. Next to copy products to my catalog, just hit apply, and then you will add those products to your account. So we're adding 2 blank products to your account. Okay, now we've got the message here. They've been added to the account. So now, once you've added a product to your account from these supplier catalogs, it's then stored under Manage Products. So this is where we'll go next. Manage Products is like your account's global product catalog area. So all the products you've added to your account from the supplier catalog will be stored here. Typically, you'll just see blanks here. So we'll filter here. Let's go to supplier this time. We'll just go to Sanmar. And let's just type 3001. See what we get. So we've got the BC 3001. Here's the USA we just added, and then here's the Youth. So with products, if you're working with blanks, typically if you're going to assign a blank to a store, which you can do here, you have all your different stores in this drop down here. If you're going to assign a blank to a store, typically that's because you want to use it, or you want your customers to take it into the designer. So, but you do have other options with blanks. You have your default blank purchase options here. So this controls what options the customer has with any particular blank. So buy blank here, for example, allows you to sell a product blank as is. Design online lets a customer take it into the designer. And design details form, this option is a lot more limited, but I think this works best as a sort of a quote tool. So with this, the customer is just going to upload an art file and then tell you which side it's supposed to be on. And then from there, typically what I would recommend is just not accept payment. So you'll just get the artwork and then the shirt that the customer chose, and then you can reach out for a quote from there. So in this case, if we want customers to design online, we're going to assign a blank to a store. So let's throw this in Central Boosters JT. That's my store. And we'll save. So now that I've assigned this blank to the store, I'm going to go to the Central Boosters JT store. Oops. There you go. And the designer is up here. We'll just hit create. And it's right here, ready to go. So for designing on a product from the customer's point of view, just assign the blank to the store. That's all you got to do. Next up, let me just go back to that product. Go. When it comes to me as an admin decorating a product and putting it up for sale, it's a much simpler workflow. You don't even have to assign it to the store you want to decorate it in. So if I take this 3001 USA out of my Central Boosters JT store, save. go back to that store. All I have to do if I want to decorate a product here is just make sure that I've added it to my account from these supplier catalogs. That's all I have to do. Now I'll just go to the store I want to decorate it in. So I'm in Central Boosters JT, store admin, and just click create new. So here it is right here. So it's not assigned to the store. It doesn't have to be. If you're going to decorate it, you just need to make sure it exists in your account, basically. So you've added it from the supplier catalogs. So we'll go ahead and see, Craig, you want me to go through this here and just decorate it real quick, or?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
Okay. Oh, I see that's the next thing. So we'll grab this product, just click on it. And we'll hit add color here to select all the colors we want to offer. Let's grab a bunch here. And we're going to upload some art. See if I can find a good example here. Some colorways action.
Now, key point on that particular graphic, that's a graphic from Graphics Flow. So I went in and selected that graphic in Graphics Flow, and I purposefully set it up so it's really easy to color change. So colors were kind of linked together. So when I change colors in colorway, it's really easy to localize it. And that's not based by any kind of like grouping. It's just based how I colored the individual elements. So like it's really easy to take all the red, for instance, on that design and turn it to gray. So if you want to show a colorways real quick, you kind of see how that works.
Yeah.
Actually, the navy on that one, you want to take the navy and turn it to gray.
Yeah, I was going to say this navy is kind of blending into the shirt. So we'll just view colorways here in the artwork. And we've already got a gray colorway set up, which is nice. So I can just go ahead and select this here. And now it's only applied this version of the artwork with the gray stripes to the navy shirt. If I want to go to another shirt and apply gray, I can just select the next color and then choose the colorway. I think that kind of pops out a bit better there.
Yeah, and one of the key point, people will upload their own products, which is something, we certainly encourage folks to do. But when you upload your own product, sometimes the product isn't level, especially some of the photography that comes from the suppliers that's kind of at an angle. One of the things I really appreciate about InkSoft is Joel can just like grab that graphic at the corner. And if he wanted to just rotate it, you don't have to go into a graphics program. And, one of the kind of key points that, I think most people have kind of figured this out that are InkSoft users, we're not creating a merged image. So when we're creating a mockup, the graphic is not merged with the background product template. It's two things. It's the background product template and in this case, a vector-based graphic sitting over the top of it. So that's why we're dynamically generating these mockups. And that's such a big help because, the folks that are using like the non-industry platforms, if you're using like Shopify and you had to do, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 colors, you have to create a mockup in your graphics program of all 6 of those. And with InkSoft, really all you're doing is picking which colors are going to get the light colorway and which colors are going to get the colorway we just set up for navy. So just wanted to point that out. Back to you, Joel.
Right. So we finished decorating this product. Once you're done, just hit create product and it's going to take us right back here. So there's no limits here. You can grab as many products and decorate them as you want, and it'll tally up here how many you've done. I can also grab this same SKU here, 3001 USA, and decorate it with different artwork if I want to. So we'll just go to next product details once we're done decorating. And on this page, you can change the product name to make it more relevant to the store if I want to. Let's say Central Booster. Default color, first color that appears on the storefront, we'll just leave that be. And then it's going to add this extension to the SKU here to make it unique. We can't have 2 identical SKUs. And then we'll enter a price. Let's say $20.
I liked 123. I'd like those margins.
123?
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. One of the key points in when I was learning the platform, being able to change the pricing for the different sizes. And then I realized that you can actually disable sizes too. And we'll probably go back and show folks how to do that.
Yeah, we can do that. So to override your larger garment sizes, just hit this little icon right here, override price per size. And let's just say we're going to price average, say $23 for the larger sizes. Hit done and then finish. And there you go. It's already done.
So Joel, the key point here is when you're adding products to a store, the catalog is pulling from your main account catalog. Everything you've added as a product is where you're pulling the product. Only things that are assigned to the designer for that each individual store are going to be in the designer. And so one of the things that commonly happens is, like, if you copy a store, you clone a store, you'll notice that there's not going to be any design templates or clip art images assigned to that designer until you assign them. And we'll go back and show you guys how to do that. But the key point here is you have a complete transparency in terms of, like, the decorated product in here, but your customer also has that. So the customer can actually go in through customer portal and look at all the artwork they've uploaded. So the customer has some visibility on that as well, which is really nice. Some pretty good looking products in there. Not too bad.
Yeah.
What about categories, like categorizing? What's kind of a best practice on that?
You can categorize your decorated products, or are you talking about categorizing your blanks so it's easier for you, the admin, to find them?
Well, I think there's two things, but right there under category in the drop down here, we've kind of got them like categories. So would you like categorize them by, like, apparel versus like promotional items, or how would you set categories for those?
I'd probably do t-shirts, hats, and, cups or mugs or something like that. You can do this in bulk. Just select the products you want to categorize. Hit these blue three dots. This is your bulk options menu. And then assign a category. Let's find t-shirts. There. Done. Assign. And then we'll do hats. I don't have to select this. If it's just one, you can just open this up.
Yeah, incidentally, I noticed that when in the settings, you can assign the order in which the categories appear. And I noticed in our account, they have accessories at the top. I know why they did that, because they have a gang sheet for direct to film set up. Guys always want to be able to find that real quick.
Yeah. Let's see, yeah, we'll just throw that in accessories.
Perfect.
So there's the categorization. Let's see. So there's a couple different things you can do for yourself as the admin to make things easier, especially when it comes to building proposals. So one thing that I recently discovered is some customers will build themselves their own separate store and just decorate a bunch of products in that store with all different types of artwork they've done from the past, from all of their customers. And then, they can just call it mockups or whatever, the store. And then once they have all those products, they're there and available for them to either pull into new stores, or they can pull them directly into a proposal. So that's one way you can sort of optimize that.
That's a great workaround solution for that. We're going to talk a little bit at the end about the new clone stores feature, and I have an interesting idea for that function. You following me on that, Joel? That practice being globally swap out the art, possibly, if we assign it to a store?
Yeah, we could try that.
Yeah, we'll try it. You guys will get to see it here first.
Cool. Let's see, upload products in bulk. So we'll go back to the dashboard for that. So if ever you can't find a product in the supplier catalogs, we do have the bulk product upload here. So we'll just go here, products, add new product, bulk product upload. So relatively straightforward. There's just a lot of things that need to go right in order for it to work. So it's very sensitive to things like special characters in the CSV file containing all the product data. But we do have a good guide, and it sort of explains all the limitations and all the characters that you don't want to enter into the CSV. So what you'll do, you'll just download the CSV template here. Let me show you here. Download that. So the web store, you just type in the name of the store as you see it. There's nothing special about that. You can pre-categorize it, enter the product name, which is required. It'll let you know which ones are required and which ones aren't. So if you don't want to put in these products in your stores, you don't have to fill this in. Description, the SKU. So the limitations really come down to like the SKU, manufacturer SKU. These ones are fairly limited. And what you
so I noticed I noticed hyphens are off limits, right? You can do underscores, but no hyphens.
I believe that's right. Yeah. Let's see here. So really the sky is the limit here. You can do as many as you want. Once you have this CSV filled out with all of your product data, obviously you would save it. And we also have one for signage as well. I guess we can, it's basically the same thing though, as we just saw. And then as far as uploading product images, you do have options here. The most successful, or the most success I've seen from this, is using the zip folder. So you just name the product accordingly, or name the image file accordingly to the color and the side that you're uploading. So either front, back, left sleeve, or right sleeve. If you put all of those images into one zip folder and they're named correctly, then upload that zip folder here and then create products. So
basically the naming convention is determining how the product is linked to the data in the CSV file. So if it's not exactly the same character for character, the image won't link to that product when you bulk upload. Is that correct?
Right. Yeah. It's got to be an exact match. And, if you do it once, it's a lot easier after that. So just got to get one to upload. Maybe start with like 10 just to see if you can get it to work. And then once you get those 10 to work, then take on the rest.
Where I've seen people use that frequently is with folks that are doing manufacturing. And so they have their own products that aren't, accessible through our 25 supplier catalogs. I've seen folks do that. And we actually had a customer a couple of weeks ago was asking this, is I've got like 100 products. Do I have to manually upload each product and the images? And said, oh, no, you can do it with the bulk product uploader. And he was so excited to hear that. And I didn't hear back from him, so I'm assuming it went well, or he probably went to the success team. But I think it's a wonderful feature and a huge time saver.
I agree. Let's see. So next, we're going to talk about how to edit products, make any sort of changes you might want to. So let's see, colors, prices, and print regions. Actually, we'll go back to the dashboard for that. Go to manage products, and let's just work with the same SKU, belt canvas. Oops. There we go. So your colors and images tab is going to store all of the available colors and side images, front, back, left, and right sleeve. Basically on the general tab, if I see options checked here, then those options are required for every color to have. So in this case, all these are checked. So I should expect to see every color on the colors and images tab to have front, back, right, and left sleeve, or left and right. And that's what we see for every color here. So if there is ever a missing side image and you happen to have those images downloaded from your supplier's website, you can choose the side here and upload those images, but there's also a way you can do it in bulk. And it's very similar to the bulk product upload. So it's basically the second half of that. If you use this up arrow here, you can then upload images and it tells you how to name your files right here. So you start with the SKU _ color name _ side.png. As long as the files are named correctly according to, what we see here, you can just bulk upload and replace images like this. It's pretty straightforward. Pricing. So a lot of time you'll see a fixed price here. Maybe not the most ideal way to price garments, because obviously as the sizes increase above XL, your cost goes up. But in this case, we got a fixed price, so we're charging the same amount. So you're kind of getting burned on your larger garment sizes. What I might recommend instead is to use a pricing rule. Let's see what we got going on here. So this is just a flat 80% markup, but it's applying that markup based on the cost. So when the cost goes up, the markup, is a bit higher. So $9.33 for this 3X, an hour is $16.79. It will extend the decimal for price accuracy, but customers won't see that.
So this is primarily for generating pricing information in the designer, and then the default pricing in proposals, which in proposals you can override pricing pretty easily.
Let's see. And then once you have, let's just go go in this order. So we'll say, let's get our blank products marked up first to, let's say this is our preprint charge, just the cost of the blank. And then after that, we have different pricing grids that you can assign. We have digital, and then we have screen print pricing grids that you can assign to products. You can have two assigned at the same time. So digital price, you've got these different pricing grids here you can access and change. Screen print pricing, you can access and change these. Let me just give you a quick overview of that. So we'll go to pricing, print pricing, digital print pricing, and then screen print pricing. Here, just open this up like this. There we go. So digital print pricing, very straightforward. You just have your quantity range here, min and max, and then per side print charge that you assign. So this is just saying if I order one shirt, it's going to be $20 print charge per side. And that print charge will be added on top of the costs that you see here on the right. So it starts from supplier cost. It then applies a pricing or markup if there is one. And then you have your blank shirt charge. And then the digital print pricing or screen print pricing gets then added on top of that blank shirt charge.
So one of the things I noticed in my designer, anything under 12 units, it prices it, like if I'm just doing a basic t-shirt, prices it like $21. But once I hit to 12 to 12 or higher, I believe it is, all of a sudden it starts to price it in, a more aggressive pricing. It's not making the determination if that is going to be DTG versus screen print. That's something you do on the production end of side. But it seems like it's a smart practice. Like if you have both direct to garment and screen print, pricing it higher for the lower quantities, kind of bearing in mind that you're probably going to do, a DTG print, but the higher quantities, you're going to price it based on a matrix, probably by color, give the customer a little bit of discount, but you can't assign, there's no rule that says, hey, everything below a certain quantity is going to be DTG and everything above a certain quantity is going to be screen print, correct?
Not really. But what you can do to sort of get around that, there's really only one way you can set this up. You can do it. So you can have a 1 minimum for digital, let's say.
Yep.
And then your screen print minimum is 12.
Got it.
You can set a little bit of a barrier there. And you can obviously set this to 1 if you want to and set your digital to 12, but that's not generally what you would do.
Got it.
Let's see here. So screen print pricing real quick. You have these breaks up here. This is just quantity of shirt. And then whichever quantity the customer is ordering, let's say I order 50 shirts, we'd be in break 4. Just follow this down vertically from here. So this section here is for your setup fee. It knows what to do. So if you have a 2-color front, here are your colors on the left, 2-color front and a 4-color back, we're looking at $30 setup for the front, $60 for the back. Pretty straightforward. Nice thing is your customers won't see these numbers here, so they won't feel like they're getting nickel and dimed. Most people don't understand how the screen print process works. So if they do see a setup fee, it might kind of turn them off from making the sale or making the purchase. So what's actually going to happen is InkSoft is going to give the customer an average cost per garment. And it's going to average the setup fee as well as include the print price per item down here into the average cost per garment. So nice little feature. And same thing here, 2-color front, we're looking at $169 per shirt for the front print. 4-color back is going to be $250 for the back per shirt.
You know what I like about that is if you're kind of building in art development costs, so like if you have an art setup fee or a vectorization fee or a digitizing fee, you can use that as part of your setup, not just screen print setups for, per color, per screen. That's pretty cool, actually. And I like the idea of making it hiding it from the customer. It's getting built into your pricing, but you're hiding it from the customer. That's very clever.
Yeah, most customers wouldn't want to see that anyways. So
no, because nobody wants to pay a setup fee, right?
Yeah.
I think we all know it's built in.
Yeah,
deep down.
Let's see, print regions. So if a product ever doesn't have print regions, if you've added it from the supplier catalogs, you probably don't have to worry about this. They'll, 99% of them come in with print regions already ready to go. But if a product doesn't have print regions, you want to make sure you get these added because if it doesn't have them, you as the admin can't decorate the product and your customers can't either. So let's see. We got our sides listed here: front, back, left, and right sleeve. And let's pretend that these were all blank. If I wanted to add a print region, just make sure you add it to the correct side. So we've got the front and back here. Let's add one to the front. Just hit the plus sign here. Front, left, and right chest. I don't know what else we would need, but let's just say we didn't have a front.
We could say sleeve, I guess.
We could. Actually, yeah. If you don't have sleeve images like this, you can always create a print region for the sleeve here on the front image. So that is one way to get around a shortage of images or sides. So let's make a sleeve here. The width, we'll call this sleeve, and we'll make the height the same, 3.5, and then we'll click draw region. So this might appear to be a little misleading, 3.5 inches by 3.5 inches. This is sort of an internal note for you to keep in mind. It's saying, this is saying no matter how big or small I make this, InkSoft is going to think this area is 3.5 by 3.5 inches. So really, these numbers just determine the dimensions of the box. So if I make this 3.5 by 7, we're going to have a tall rectangle here.
Oh, that makes sense. So basically, it's not relying on the scale of the product blank. It's a fixed size and dimension. Mm-hmm. So no matter how big it is on the product blank, it's always going to be that 3.5 inches.
Yeah.
So if you, or in this case, 3.5 by 7.
There we go.
Nice.
So yeah, you can get a sleeve on there. Go ahead and save that.
So one key point here is if you're bulk uploading your own products, you're going to need to set up print regions for those products, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's something we can't do in bulk just because each image is a different size. There's not really a way to do that. You know, in a perfect world, all product images would be 1000 by 1000 pixels, but we just don't live in that world. So,
right. What do you think is the minimum resolution for, like, two things, file type that you'd want to upload for creating your own bulk products, and then resolution?
So there's a couple things you want to keep in mind with that. Our recommended size is 500 by 500 pixels, and this isn't the sharpest image by any stretch of the imagination, but this does help optimize your site and make it much faster to load. Some people will upload, 5 or 6, 10 megabyte files for every single product image. If you think about it, if you have 100 products, each product has 10 colors and 4 sides per color, and each image is 10 megabytes. That's a lot of downloading to open a page. So typically, I'd say 500 by 500 pixels is good enough. That's actually what this image here is. So we can actually zoom in and see it is a little pixelated, but it's generally good enough to get the job done. If you're not happy with this, then maybe you could try, 750 by 750 or something like that.
Yeah, and web images are going to be at 72 DPI anyways. So the physical size of the pixel dimensions is actually going to have quite a bit to do with the image quality. But from my experience, 500 by 500, 72 DPI it views really nice on screen, and it's not print level. It's not print level. Your intention isn't to print the product blank. It's just there for a reference, which brings up another key point. The product blanks, or when you're creating a mockup, the mockup is purely for a reference for placement, so they can see what the product is going to look like, and they can see the placement. The production file, if you download a mockup, you're not downloading the production file. The mockup is not the production file. The production file is the file either you uploaded or the file that the customer uploaded in the designer, or they created in the designer. And that's one of the key things people sometimes think, hey, listen, I'm going to, mock up I'm going to create a mock-up of a mug for sublimation, and then I'm going to download the mock-up. I'm going to have it all set up and placement and everything on the mock-up. That's actually not the case. If you're starting to move around the sizing and scaling of the image you uploaded, you're going to have resolution issues. So the main production file is always going to be the file you created in the designer, customer created in the designer, you uploaded, or the customer uploaded. That's your production file, not the one that's superimposed on a mockup.
Right. Let's see. Let's go over quantity discounts, and as well as let's just go over all the types of discounts. We can go over gift certificates and everything. So let's start with quantity discounts, which is going to be pricing, product pricing, quantity discounts. These are by far the most straightforward and easiest to set up. The only real requirement that you need to keep in mind is this here needs to be checked. And if you add a product to your account from the supplier catalogs, it's going to come with this option checked every time. So go to quantity discounts here, and we'll just add a new discount. It's called QD, quantity discount. And let's say we want to start discounting at 12 quantity, and we'll set a range here, 12 to 24 products. We save 10% per product. You can also switch how you're discounting here. So we've got percentage per unit, which is checked by default. That's most common. Or if you want to do a fixed dollar amount per unit discount, say you save $1 per shirt between 12 and 24 quantity, hit the plus sign, and then you can just keep adding more. So 25 to 36, you save $2, plus sign again, and so on and so forth. At this point, just choose the store you want to assign the quantity discount to, Central Boosters JT, and then let's say we just want all the products in the store to have that discount, and then save.
So question, if somebody's creating a product in the designer, will they be notified if they order one more product that they get a better discount? Do they have visibility on that?
Yeah, for both designer products and decorated products. So if you assign a quantity discount, it's going to tell the customer, purchase 5 more to save this much more.
Oh, that's great. Mm-hmm. I knew that already, but it's funny.
Yeah. Let's see, coupons. So pricing, coupons, and discounts. Coupons, you have a lot more options than quantity discounts. So let's go ahead and create new up here. So say call it coupon. This description here is internal. And right off the bat, you can choose if you want to require a coupon code or not. So if you don't do this, then you want to set up later, you want to automatically apply this coupon to certain products, but let's just go ahead and require a code. Let's say free ship 50. Let's say we want to add, offer free shipping, or actually we don't have shipping set up. Let's just say save 25% or save 25. Discount type, since we're going to do 25%, let's choose a percentage discount here and just say 25. So this is our discount percentage. We want to apply this discount to products or items, same thing. And we'll set a date range here, something a quantity discount can't do. So let's say we want this to start today, and then it's going to end at the end of the month. And then minimum and maximum. You can set parameters here that a customer has to meet in order to qualify for the discount. So if we do minimum item count, let's say you have to have 10 items minimum in the cart before you get access to this save 25%, or you can set a flat dollar amount, $150 in the cart or more gives you access to the discount. You can also set maximum usage count just in general. So if I set 100 here, then this coupon can only be used 100 times total before it's turned off after that. And then if you don't want any customers to log in and just, place 10 orders to save 25%, you can then set a maximum usage per customer. But just keep in mind, this option here does require that the customer be logged into a user account. That's the only way we can track and see if a customer has used a discount or not. So this option here does require that a customer have a user account in order to access the discount. And then just choose the store you want the discount to be available in. JT. Choose the products you want to be available for the discounts. Just select all. And not super utilized, but you can discount design categories if you want to. And then you can discount specific designs if you want to as well.
Actually, it's pretty handy, Joel, the point about being able to assign products, because you might have a product you have a really low margin on that you're working off really tight margins, and being able to exclude that. It seems like every time I go to buy something online and there's a promo code, the one thing that I want is exempt. But that's a really good way to protect low margin products, is by deselecting them when offering.
Exactly. Cool. And you would just save that and then send out the coupon code, and then customers would type that in at checkout and they would get access to the discount.
That'd be a good thing to post on your social media, or have the customer, if you're hosting a store for a customer, to have them post the details of the promo code on their Instagram account or Facebook post or a bulk email campaign.
Yeah. You can even throw it into a promo bar.
Oh, nice.
Let's see. Where is the promo bar?
I think a promo bar is the first one at the top.
Yeah.
That's a great place to put it.
Enter save 25 to save 25% at checkout. Oops.
Nice.
There you go. That's one way to do it. And then lastly, gift certificates. So marketing user accounts. It works best, in my opinion, if you have user accounts already set up. So we'll just view all the user accounts here. And now that we have them, I can select them in bulk, or, if it's just for a specific store, let's go to a specific store, select that store and apply, and then you'll see only the user accounts in that store. From there, you select them in bulk, select action, issue gift certificate, and then apply.
So let's talk about a kind of a use case for this. So one of the things that customers will do is they'll be working with a corporation, maybe a manufacturing company, that has a safety program. And as part of that safety program, if they don't have a workplace accident for the month, they'll give every one of their employees a $50 credit to purchase merch from their company store. So one of the things that you can do as an InkSoft user, if you have set up an Excel spreadsheet with all the users, including name, email, all those kind of things, you can bulk upload all those users. And if somebody gets terminated, you can delete them from the user accounts. But I don't know that anybody that got terminated would want to purchase merch with your logo. But you can bulk upload all of the users into that and assign them to that specific store and issue certificates, which they can apply to merch. And if they have a $50 certificate, but the merch is $55, then they're going to have to cover the $5 themselves when they check out. But this is a wonderful program to offer to your customers, specifically your corporate customers. And it's a great way to just kind of tie a marketing campaign to merchandise, and the person that benefits at the end is you, because you're the one that's fulfilling the merchandise. So to me that's a terrific use case for this feature.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see. So right off the bat, whatever I type into these fields here will be applied to all of the accounts on the page. If I need to give someone a different amount, you just select them. Say this guy only gets $20.
Yeah, because John's the guy that was cooking the tuna in the microwave as a break room.
But everyone else gets $50. And there you go.
That's funny.
Cool. And then at this point, just issue gift certificate, and then everyone's going to get an email notification letting them know how much balance they have and what their gift certificate code is. And like Craig was saying, you can create user accounts in bulk here. So marketing user accounts, let's just refresh here. Select action, upload user accounts. Just download the CSV here. Just show you what it looks like real quick. It's really straightforward.
Yep.
It's actually good to mention this. The second line, you want to do away with that. All that's required for a user account is the email, the store you're assigning them to. You just type in the store name as you see it on your dashboard, first and last name. So if you can get first, last name, email of all the customers, you can just paste all that stuff in here and then just paste in the same store name all the way down. Save this. and then upload that here. Be sure to send the welcome email. This sends the customer an email saying, hey, you have a user account on this store. Click here to sign in.
Can you adjust the messaging on the welcome email and then the issue certificate automated email? Oh, there you go.
Yep. Marketing email templates. I believe the gift certificate email can be edited. I know that that's for sure. I don't know. I don't think the welcome email is editable, but the gift certificate one is kind of the one you'd want to edit anyways. And that's right here. Yep. So if you want to change this out, you can change all of this stuff here. Don't worry if you mess it up. You can always reset to default, which is nice. And if you have any coding experience, just go to code view and you can see the HTML input and really customize it, make it look nice.
Yeah, that is a very, very high powered feature.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see. I think that's about it on the list. Unless if I missed something, I don't think I did.
Yeah, I think a couple of things that, I think it's probably a good time to kind of introduce something that's really exciting. We were talking about, assigning, we had products, assigning bulk properties to products. When we're in product, we can, let's go over to product real quick, and a pre-decorated product specifically for store. So I guess we could go back to your original store. So you notice we have two products that have the same logo on there. The ones at the top, the USA Jersey tee, and then we also have what else do we got going on there? Yeah, I guess it's the two ones at the top. So if we select both those products and we want to swap out the graphic on both those products, we have the ability to do that now. And so if we go down to edit product details and we go to replace art and bulk. Okay, couple, yeah, there you go. Couple things here. So it is going to replace the artwork on both those products. So this graphic becomes the default graphic on those two products. Where this is really handy is if you're going to clone a store, which we're going to show you guys that in a second, but it's a new feature, and it's the ability just to take one set of products and replace the art in bulk, but also you can do that to individual products. And you still maintain things like colorways. You can still go in and set up colorways if you want to, but you can also do that with embroidery files. And so it's a really super handy way to change the artwork across multiple products. And Joel's using an SVG file now, which means he'll have access to colorways. So if he's actually mistaken that graphic when I uploaded it, the graphic had black in it and doesn't really look, I don't think it looks great in black, but he can now go in here and, as long as he's got an SVG or a vector file like a PDF, you can actually go in and change colorways on that. And one of the things I noticed, like, go back there for a second, because I got caught in a webinar and I was like, where do you go back and change the artwork on a product you set up? And I realized it's under pricing and styles.
Yeah.
And then you have to click on edit designs and styles. Mm-hmm. And that's where you can go in and do things like set up a new colorway on that vector file. So if you wanted to make a version for lights, I suppose, you could do that right in there, which I think is a really cool feature. So one of the things I think a lot of times people are, maybe not fully understand is that, at its core, InkSoft is a graphics program. It's got its own design art environment. It processes vector graphics so that you can change colorways and, grab the different color layers within the vector graphic and assign colorways. When you're doing like a JPEG image or a PNG image, you can knock backgrounds out. You can set color limits. So you can say, even though it's a bitmap image like a PNG, you can just still say, hey, this is the color limit on this file is 2 colors or 3 colors. And you'll see that color ways. You see those colors actually live update when, you're using the designer or the rapid product creator. So this new swapping artwork and bulk feature is pretty slick, but even slicker is the ability to clone a store with product and art and then bulk swap. So you want to show them that? It's pretty fun. You guys will be the first people on the planet to see it. Than our internal team.
So we'll go to InkSoft Core Stores, and if you're familiar with cloning stores, it's the same exact workflow. It's just you have more options now. So let's say we want to clone Central Boosters again. just hit the three dots here and then clone store. And now we have this new option here, include products and store art. If you check this, then every product in that store will be brought in as well as the same artwork on those products, all the pricing, literally any product in the store, legacy, pre-decorated products, an inactive product in the store, it's going to grab everything. Give the store a new name, Central Boosters, first. Well, and then clone store.
Yeah, so one of the things I noticed before, we used to have the verbiage used to be copy store. And now we changed the verbiage to clone store because it truly is cloning the store. Because now we're including product and artwork, which we didn't before. And I know it's a sore spot for a lot of people. So we listen to you. And this was a pretty big lift on the development side of things. But I think everyone in the organization, not just you guys as end users, but everyone in the organization is really excited about this function, because Joel and I were talking before class that, it is really neat to do what he's about to show you right here, but also this is that bulk art replacement. We get so many requests for, like, I got 20 products with the same piece of artwork, and I just want to take all 20 products and globally swap the artwork out. The ability to do that now. Back to you, Joel.
Yeah, it's really a game changer. So many people are asking for this, so it's always exciting to see stuff like this roll out. So once you're ready to replace artwork, basically what you're seeing here is any shirt that's been decorated or any garment that's been decorated with this artwork here. If we hit the three dots and replace that, we're now going to replace all the artwork with the new art file that we choose here. So let's just throw on the InkSoft logo again and replace art. And it's going to let you know one product contains this art file here, so only one product will be affected by this change. Continue. And there we go. Go to store products. And now we have the InkSoft shirt here instead of the Central Boosters.
And then we could go back to pricing and styles and change the colorways and all that stuff. Now, key point here, the only kind of the two rules about this right here. In order to use these functions, you have to be on sales doc. So you have to be on the updated platform, obviously. Right. But also, if you have shared products, so if you have set up products that are shared between stores, it won't do the global art replacement. It will copy the products over to the new store that you cloned, but it won't let you do the global art replacement because the art's shared across a couple stores, and that can cause some issues that are unintended. But this is an absolutely wonderful feature, and a couple best practices. Obviously my background, you didn't know, is really on the graphic side of things. If you're in Adobe Illustrator or CorelDRAW, or even like a program like Inkscape or Affinity Designer, and you want to know the best format to save your files in to work with InkSoft, PDF is going to be your best choice. PDF, when we import PDF files, we're parsing out all of the vector data so that you can do colorways. SVG is a decent choice for artwork, but SVG files have a tendency to be version sensitive. And because a lot of consumer-based programs can create SVG files, you can get some swirly things on an SVG file. Not always, but there's always that risk. PDF file from Illustrator, CorelDRAW, Affinity Designer is always going to be your best choice for uploading vector graphics. If you're dealing with files that are bitmap files, your best choice is going to be, in my opinion, a PNG file, because you have the option of selecting transparency when you create that file. Most of the graphics programs, including like Photoshop and the pro graphics programs, when they create a PNG file, there's an option to create transparency. So you're knocking that white bounding box around the perimeter of the bitmap graphic. With the JPEG file, you're always going to get that white bounding box. And what's nice about InkSoft is when you import it, it will allow you to through the designer, it will allow you to knock that white background out. But there's nothing more exciting than seeing this really great logo and it's got a white box around it. And so if you're using a PNG file with a transparent background, you don't have to deal with that, which is really nice. And then, embroidery files, one of the big questions that we get asked all the time, if you go back to the embroidery, go back to that embroidery file, let's do a colorways real quick. Let's talk about something really that to me is really important, and not everybody knows. Yep, not everybody knows this. So the DST format is a primitive embroidery format. It's the old original Tajima format. And so DST files, although they run great on a machine, they don't carry color data. So a DST file can't carry thread colors or even RGB colors. So in any embroidery program that you import a DST file into or open a DST file, and it's going to assign some random thread colors to that based on the quote stops in the file. And so if Joel goes to create colorways on this file, this particular colorway has two stops. So first thing it's going to sew is that white layer down first, and then it's just going to, in one continuous fashion, it's going to sew the red. So that really only gives me the option of two colors in here, where the way this file was set up, it's always going to be a two-color file, because the way it was digitized for two-color. But when Joel selects like the red layer there and he wants to reassign that, it's really nice to be able to just pick your thread manufacturer. We got the 4 biggies in there. And if you know that, you're stocking white in Isacord, but all your colors are Madeira because you bought the business and the old owner has had Madeira thread for the next 100 years. If you go to Madeira, you can certainly mix your colors. And if you know the color name, you can just go into the search and type it. I think brick is one of the Madeira colors. Brick red. And boom, there you go. So that file is always going to be, if you're editing the file in InkSoft, that file is always going to be in two color. Now, I did another version of this file and I digitized it and I set it up so that it had 4 stops. So that Cougars was a stop, the white background was a stop, the face of the cougar was a stop, and the eyeball was a stop. That gives me the latitude to make it a 4-color design. So it really is dependent on how it's digitized. And if you're working with an outsourced digitizing company, you want to tell them that. The disadvantage of that, doing 4 stops on this file, is, on an embroidery machine, so it's Cougars, it's got to tie that thread off, cut it, jump to the next object, tie it off, cut it. It's going to run a little bit slower, but it gives you a little bit more latitude. And you'll notice, like on the DST file, it's not going to let you size that. It's going to keep it as a fixed size. There's a reason for that. And the reason is, if we take a DST file and we make it bigger, it's going to spread the threads out. It's going to look awful. If you do a tiny little bit, you might not look too bad, but plus or minus 5% is really going to be problematic. If we make it smaller and we condense the stitches, you're going to get thread breaks. And that'll also, so that's actually a rule associated with PNG files, or excuse me, with DST files. But the workaround, here's a great workaround for it, is if you have an embroidery program and, like, say Wilcom or Drawings or Pulse, you can save a PNG rendering of the embroidery. So you create a PNG rendering of the embroidery, and you don't have those rules for resize it. So if you want to, make it oversized, you'd be able to do that from a PNG render. And the only thing you have to make sure is that under when you select don't select the image placement on there, Joel, real quick, under front and full. So in the drop down, you're going to want to make sure that you let the software know that's embroidery. And so right now, I think if you scroll down, I think when it's interesting, when I upload a PNG file and put it on a cap, a lot of times it'll just default to embroidery. So on the production side of things, that's one of the kind of, I guess you could call it a gripe, no other way to call it, is if you don't assign something to be embroidery, we don't know that PNG file is supposed to be embroidery. We see that PNG file, we just think it's going to be a print file. So on your worksheets, if you're sending out a production worksheet, it could be a little bit confusing. We're actually looking at, that's an issue that comes up a lot. We're actually looking at a kind of a clever way to get around that, be able to kind of override that imprint side. So we can say, hey, that PNG file, even though it's not a stage, we can still select it as embroidery, so we send the work order out to the outsource contract sewer that we don't have to put a note on there. So that's it. So that's kind of your little tutorial on just graphics files. So get in the habit of asking clients for PDF files, and get in the habit of saving your files out of your graphics programs as PDF, because it's the way to go. And one of the things I love about a PDF file is your proofing file and your production file are one and the same. So that's a pretty handy thing. So you'll hear me say PDF, 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 PDF. PDF is always the way to go. So Joel, thank you so much for, I learned a ton, got under the hood there a little bit. I feel like really confident in coupons and in certificates now. And
Awesome.
it seems like it's fairly intuitive, but those little nuanced things that you shared today in class really, I think, are going to be super helpful. And, one of the things that I think people oftentimes forget is if you go back out to the dashboard, it's kind of one of these Dorothy moments. If you go up into the little question mark button there, guess what? We've got quite a bit of written documentation that's been updated all the time. And so if there's something new that's coming out, there'll be an actual updated article on that, and all the kind of really super technical details on things like setting up gift certificates. That's right under your nose. And then also encourage everybody to subscribe to the YouTube channel for all three of our brands, for InkSoft, Graphics Flow, and also for Printavo, because we have great content that we're constantly developing. And Joel, if you want to go to the InkSoft YouTube channel real quick, one of the things that Joel and I are collaborating on is a new playlist, which is the basics playlist. And so we created a Mastering the Basics playlist, which is kind of the condensed version of what you saw here today. So for instance, like the product stuff that you saw here on the top video is kind of the condensed version of what we did here today. That's a great place to go. There's lots of other videos within the YouTube channel that have deep topics, but this is kind of a series that we did. There's 10 of them. I've got one edited. I got 3 more to edit, but it's all the basics. It's all the basic stuff. So if you just need a quick answer, you can go in here, and they're all chaptered. So we chaptered them out. So if you just need to jump to just a part of the video, you don't have to watch the whole thing. So those are just some of the kind of very helpful resources that we have made available for you guys. So thanks so much for joining Joel and myself on InkSoft Academy, and we'll see you on the next one. Thank you so much.